We saw that the private sector is focusing more on, placing Emiratis with high school and below, meaning to shift the way of placement. Instead of thinking of only recruiting high school and below, it's also, to focus on recruiting and placing graduate nationals.
Now, unemployment is sometimes a tricky number to calculate, as there are Emiratis who choose not to work. How many Emiratis would you say are actively seeking a job, and what is the overall unemployment figures looking like for Dubai?
The good part, we found it in the last survey, which is done by the Dubai Statistics Center, that that the unemployment rate, it's dropped big time. And this, it's helped us, now to start focusing more on how we want, to plan it for the future. But the most important part, we found that, that the female participation at the workforce, especially at the private sector, it's increased. And it's amazing. We are talking now with other local departments on how can we utilize this indicator in terms of to help more females, to join the workforce.
The ENDP recently partnered with the Ministry of Presidential Affairs to launch the Absher program. Tell us more about this.
Absher program, we think that in the future will be, the upper umbrella for the all Emiratisation efforts through and all over, UAE. And mainly we will focus on 5 to 8 months training program. We are paying, partial of the training program. Plus we will pay, 30% of the salary. So it's mainly, supporting the private sector in two different ways, supporting them in the training part and on the salary part.
To use the carrot and stick analogy, the Absher program is very much a carrot approach with positive incentives. Now, the Ministry of Social Affairs recently called for a 3 strikes and out approach, where Emiratis who turn down 3 or more job offers lose their benefit. This is obviously the stick approach. What are your thoughts?
We are giving 3 to 6 chances. After the 6 chances, we will move them to a list that's called blacklisted. In the blacklisted, we are freezing them for up to 6 months. So basically what we are doing, we are penalizing them on a short basis to make sure that, that they will get the maximum benefits of the different services we are providing. This is one. Second, we are saying to the nationals, please, if you think that you are not serious, give the chance for the other nationals who are serious to get a job.
Now, the private sector controls about 5 million jobs in the UAE and is the biggest employer in the country. That said, the private sector is struggling to compete with the public sector in terms of hiring Emirati staff. What do you think is the solution for making the private sector more attractive?
What we suggested to the government, if we will have, like 80-20 or 70-30 model, where the nationals who will graduate from the universities or who will graduate from the high school to join the private sector and to work for the private sector between 3 to 5 years. It's like, like a certificate for them to join and to work for the government sector if they want to work.
Some people say that the private sector should change working hours or holidays or get government subsidies so that the salaries are more in line with the public sector. Do you think this is the right approach?
The Minister of Labour, he announced that before 2 years that we will have around 20,000 UAE nationals who will join, the workforce on a yearly basis, which it means that you are having, a huge number who will join the workforce, and at the same time the government cannot, occupy the 20,000. What we are saying that what the changes which we need to do, at the government level to close the gap, for sure what we need that the private sector and the government sector to compromise.
And what do you think is the key for Emiratisation or any nationalisation program to really succeed?
Well, it's like a message I would like, to send it to everyone. I would like to send, first the message, to the private sector. Please don't look only, to your balance sheet. Look always, to the benefit of everyone. The country, the Emiratis, your own businesses, and at the same time, the growth of the country and your own company. Also, my message, to the Emiratis. Please look to the private sector seriously. Look to the private sector as a place where you can grow and you can build, an excellent career, and you can also, sustain and build better future for yourself and your family and your country too. Plus, a message, to the government that we need to work, very closely with the private sector and to understand what is their need. Based on that, we can, have a formula on where we can, work all together in a something called workforce development, which we think that it is missing big time. So if we have all these elements work together, definitely we'll have, better future, for everyone.